Peace and love. Ram Hotep coming back at you with another thought-provoking video. Just been having a lot on my mind. My guides have really been working with me. My inner spirit, my inner consciousness has really been working with me. And I feel like I need to give this message out. And it's really, for myself. When I do these videos, I do a lot of these videos to help to uplift myself and my own spirit. First and foremost, I'm not here to try to browbeat or to talk down on anyone, but I'm here, for critical analysis, just to get people to think off of another perspective and on another perspective and another angle versus, the images and the perspectives that are put out there in the matrix. Now, my views on relationships and why they aren't working in marriages and why they aren't working can definitely come from my own personal experiences and based off what I see. Now, the main reason why Western relationships, and not even just Western relationships, but mainly Western relationships are ending in divorce, those that are married, and then those that are basically in a relationship, like in a committed relationship or whatnot, and having children, and then leaving and splitting from the children. The main reason why this is happening or whatever, and like why the men are leaving and then the women are stuck with the babies and all this type of stuff, this is happening because of our egos, ladies and gentlemen. It's happening because we have these huge egos. It's happening because we haven't discovered our inner self. It's happening because we want to look on the outside for solutions to problems that are located within our inner being. Western relationships and relationships in general aren't working because many people get into a relationship just to have someone to put off their negative energy, their internal shit, their internal poison, and basically their own inner demons. They want somebody to project that out on because we aren't happy with ourselves. So therefore we look for relationships on the exterior level to find fulfillment in. So then what happens is it goes like this. First we get into this relationship. Everything is hunky and dory because you have somebody now to talk on the phone with, so it's this chemical reaction that takes place in the mind. It's like a drug. Now you have somebody to speak to on the phone. Now you have someone that you can be close to or whatever, so now you don't feel this void in yourself anymore because now you have somebody on the outside to pacify you. So that's the first level of it, and we call this the dating process. We're happy to talk to that person, and it's all beautiful, but I'm just got to keep it real. So we're happy to talk to that person, and we're glad that we got somebody to speak to and talk to and everything like that. So then after about 6 months, sometimes even shorter than that, after you done had good sex with them a few times or whatever, like the sex start to wear off, the woman done had multiple orgasms and been penetrated every which way, the male done busted his nuts, and then now you're stuck with that person. And that's when the second phase that I call comes into play. That's when, you become frustrated because really you really had a problem before you even got into this relationship. That's what I'm pointing out. You had a problem before you got into this relationship because you weren't happy with yourself, your inner being. So you went out looking for somebody to fill a void. This is what happened. We go looking for somebody to fill a void. I've experienced this as well. So then now that phase is gone. So now you're in the second phase. And you begin to project your inner demons on this person. So everything that you see within yourself that you hate about yourself, you begin to see that in that person. Why? Because when you first got into the relationship, you attracted somebody predicated upon your inner demons. Everything that is within you manifests on the outside. So you attracted somebody predicated upon your inner demons. So now you begin to kind of borderline dislike the person. And it starts off with little subtleties. So one day you kind of frustrated because, you came home from a job that you're really not happy with. You've been working this job, you're not happy with it. And instead of like looking at in and looking within, you want to come home and you're like, well, I got this person at home. Like say if y'all like, kind of like in a situation where y'all like, living together, and you're like, well, I got this person at home or whatever. I just came off of this job or whatnot. I'm not really happy, so I bet you he ain't got the house clean, or I bet you she's just sitting at home watching TV, and I've been working all hard all day or whatever, and I bet you this chick just sitting at home, you know what I'm saying? I'm about to come home, and I'm telling you, she's sitting at home on this couch today, I'm going to let her have it. And you ain't going to let her have it because he's sitting on the couch, or you're not going to let it because you're not going to let him have it because he don't have the house clean. You're going to let him have it because you're not happy with your situation with yourself. You're not happy with your situation with yourself. So now you're going to go and you're going to let this person have it based upon your own inner frustration. So you come home and you know they're gonna be sitting at home watching TV, or the house ain't gonna be clean. So you come home and she's sitting at home watching TV. So you just go off. I mean, you just basically wait for her to say one thing to give you an open door, and you kind of just go off. Or if you're not living with the person, you're in a situation where you had a long, frustrating day, and say for instance that person, they normally call you at 6 o'clock, and you like, if she don't call me at 6 o'clock today, or if he don't call me at 6 o'clock today, I'm gonna check him. I'm gonna say something. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to say something. And it's really not the fact that they didn't call you at 6 o'clock. It's just the fact that you're not happy with your day, so you want to take off this inner steam, this negative energy. You want to take it out on them. And it's not even just with your day, really. It's really because you're not happy with yourself. Because when you truly find inner peace, you will always be happy with yourself every single day. And the way to really find this true inner peace is by living in the now. Living in the now is how you find this true inner peace. This is how you correct your inner demons. And when you live in the now, you have 3 options in a situation where you're living in the now and you don't like things. If you're truly living in the now, you don't complain about the past and you don't worry about the future. So when you're truly living in the now, it's kind of like this. If you're not happy with your situation, your state in the now, you either accept it. And accept it meaning I'm not going to complain. I'm accepting the situation. That means you accept it totally, which means I'm not complaining. I'm not going to be negative about it. I'm happy in my situation now. If you can't find that happiness in the now, then you try to change that situation. You try to change that situation. So say, for instance, you're coming to work every day, and you're really not happy with your job, and there's nothing you can do to just accept it for the way it is. And it might be you got to find out what the friction is at your job that's making you frustrated. That's making you frustrated. So what you got to do is that once you find out what it is, if it's your boss that's making you frustrated, you either analyze the situation with your boss and like, you come to him and address him or her, and you talk to him and try to basically make it to where you can accept the situation. You either talk to him or you do something to basically make it to where you can accept the situation. If that don't work and the person's just not trying to hear you and you just don't like the job overall, then here's your third option of living in the now. Because you have one option, like I said, is acceptance. The second option is to try to change it. And the third option, and you've got to remember on the change thing, I want you guys to be careful here, because this is a part of relationships too. When you can't change a person, so you got to remember that. So when I say try to change it, what I mean is you try to change your outlook on it so that you can accept it. That's what I mean. You try to change your outlook on it so that you can accept it. So that's what I mean by changing, because you can't change a person. So if you don't like your boss, you change your outlook on your boss and be like, okay, I don't like my boss because he comes to work upset. So then maybe you try to find out why your boss always comes to work and tries to abuse you and comes to work and is always upset. So you try to change that situation by figuring out a way to change it or whatever based on your mentality of how you look at it. So maybe your boss, he's having or she's having problems at home, and that's why she basically, or he comes to work and has these issues or whatever where he takes things out on you. So then maybe you can accept it because you know what's going on. You can just accept it. But if you still can't accept it and your boss is abusing you, then this is your third option. And your third option is to leave the situation. Leave the situation. Now this is the option that many of us have a hard time in relationships. In any level, we have a hard time leaving the situation because we think as humans, especially when we get in these relationships, we like to change people. You see, like we like to shape and mold people into what we think they should be, because really we're trying to shape and mold them based on what we want to be. As far as like internally, we want to shape the outside world to reflect what we want to be internally. So instead of working on ourselves and shaping and molding our own inner selves, we want to turn around and shape and mold the outside world because it's easy. It feels like it's easier. But really, at the end of the day, you know what, people? It's impossible. That's right. I said it's impossible. It is impossible to change the outside world when it comes to people. You can change your outlook on it, but that still goes back to you. But you can't change the outside world when it comes to people and relationships. And that's what this video is about, relationships. You can change the way your room looks and you can remodel your room. You can change what type of car you got and buy a new car. But these are all exterior things. But I'm talking about when it comes to people, and this is where we get most of our frustration from, you can't change people. So basically what I'm saying is this. We're not going to ever have good relationships that are long-lasting relationships that don't lead into divorce if we can't accept ourselves. We have to accept ourselves, who we are on the inside, and then once we accept ourselves, and this may take you being single, you know, you may not be able to go and fill that void. Because that void that you're attempting to fulfill, if you've been in several relationships and it's not working, you got to look at yourself. And it's leading to divorce, you got to look at yourself. So you may want to look within. And if you've been single, you know what I'm saying, for a period of time, and you still haven't filled that void, then obviously you're not being single the right way. That means you're basically being single, meaning that you're coming home and you're just basically like frustrated about being single. You're not accepting the fact that you're single and the fact that you're abstaining, or the fact that you're trying to find yourself. You're not accepting that, so you're frustrated. See, when I'm talking about being with self, I ain't talking about just being single, because anybody can do that. I'm talking about where you accept, you love yourself. Where you just like, I love my situation. And the only way to do that is by looking in yourself and figuring out what it is within you that wants to come out, and accepting who you are on the inside and your inner being. When you do this, then you won't try to control people, because this is another thing that we do in relationships. We try to control people based upon the way we want them to be. So a lot of relationships are totally based on control, believe it or not. It's not love. I don't care if you've been with that person for 20 years. You know if you're happy or not. And you just really want to control them, because that's your only power. So you don't have no power within yourself and no discipline within yourself. So your only way to seek and gain power is to control somebody. You actually get your rocks off from that. And men and women do this. Since you don't got no power in your personal life, you ain't in the career you want to be in, you not, you know what I'm saying, in the city that you want to be in, you don't like the way you look, you know what I'm saying, you don't have enough money, like supposedly or whatever, all these exterior things or whatever. So since you're not happy with these things, then the only control that you got is to come home to this relationship, or to get on the phone in this relationship and try to control this other person. And this is why relationships aren't working, because we come into them wrong. We come into these relationships wrong. We haven't explored our inner self and our inner being. We haven't started living in the now and accepting the now and being happy with the now and identifying with the now and not worrying about the future or the past. See, living in the now is you're not worried about the past, and you're not being a victim from the past, and you're not worried about what's going to happen in the future. You're happy in this moment. That's what we got to do in order for us to have happy relationships, is we have to be happy with ourselves in this moment. And once you truly experience that, and you truly master that, and I truly master that, then that's when you may attract your soulmate, or that ideal being that is the perfect replica of who you are internally. Only then. So your energy has to match what it is that you're looking for. Because a relationship really is supposed to be no struggle. You should be happy with this person in the moment. Just like those old couples. You ever seen how those old couples are that have been with each other for about 40 or 50 years? See, they gave up on that control stuff a long time ago. And that's why they're happy with their mate in the now. They just come home. They don't even got to say nothing to each other. Just sit on the couch and just, you know what, I'm happy. And you know what that is? It's really because they're happy with themselves, because they found that inner peace within themselves. And you see, in this third dimensional matrix, we have lost that inner peace because we're letting the television and these music, these rap songs and all this stuff identify and give us a definition on the way relationships are supposed to be. You see, and that's why they put these images out there, because they want these images to program you into the way relationships are supposed to be. And you're not going to ever find peace if you're basing it off of what you heard on a rap song, or what you saw on Basketball Wives, or, you know what I'm saying, what you saw on television on the Tell Lies visually on the tube. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you saw that on the tube or whatever, that's not what a relationship is based upon. A relationship is based upon, a true relationship that's peaceful and blissful is based upon you having that inner peace and you attracting that mate that has that same inner peace. You become a magnet and you pull in exactly what you want. Because either way, you're pulling in exactly what you want. When you attract a lower dimensional person that reflects all of your demons, and the demons that you see in them are really the demons that are within you. So you can't change anybody. If you really want to be happy in your situation, accept it for what it is. Try to change it by changing your viewpoint on it, not by changing them. Try to change it by changing your viewpoint on it, or leave the situation. I don't care how hard it is. I don't care, or leave the situation and get into a space where you can be happy with yourself. That's the secret ingredient to having successful relationships, is being happy in the now and following those 3 steps. Hope you learned something from this video. Until we meet again, I'll say peace, love, and prosperity.